Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my special guest host today, Sage from the Rated M for Immaturity podcast. How's it going there, Sage?
Hey, doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure having you as always. Thanks for joining me. I know we kind of pushed this back a couple of times. Good, I can finally get you to help me do this review. We're going to be reviewing our anime series that won the poll, which is Cannon Busters, the Netflix anime series. The Netflix anime series is based on it was an American comic book. But the animation is done by a Japanese animation studio. So it does count as anime, there if it's done there. So it is legit, even though it is based off of an American comic book there. And who wrote it was LaShawn Thompson, is who wrote it there. So we're gonna be giving a review for that. Very short, only 12 episodes. 12 episodes there. So yeah, gonna give our thoughts on that. No real news I know of. I don't know if you know of any news, but yeah.
I mean, there's the continued layoff announcements that I feel like keep happening every day, but I don't know how much new there is to say about that.
Yeah, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, big layoffs there. I don't know how they did profit wise. You know, I don't know. Do you know about the profits of those companies? Did they have a good year?
I
Um,
couldn't tell you anything's too specific.
mm, I know that's kind of usually corporate stuff. Even if they have a good year, a lot of people just come in and gut the company anyway, and then fire a lot of people to even save even more costs and save more money there. I know that's a big practice there. That happens a lot. So yeah, there's that. I know there was some trailers that came out. There was the Borderlands trailer I didn't react to yet. I don't know if you
I
want.
haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen You haven't seen that? I know there was now the trailer with Bill Skarsgård, Boy Kills the World. I haven't reacted
Hmm.
to that trailer yet. I don't know. We could do that. And then also Bill Skarsgård is going to be the Crow. There's the photos that came out. Um,
Maybe Cholo Crow.
Cholo Crow, as some people are calling him. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very different look than the Crow. And the Crow, this is going to be I guess you would say an adaptation because it was a comic book, right? The Crow, yeah, it was
Yeah.
a comic book. So you could say adaptation of. I don't know who wrote the Crow though, but
I don't have it at the tip of my brain yet.
yeah.
I've read it before, but I can't think of the author.
Let's see here. Based on by James O'Barr. Uh,
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yep.
James O'Barr, who I think didn't that happen to him in real life, right? Um,
Yeah. That's some elements of it at least. I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but
yeah. So yeah, yeah. So there we do. I didn't see the sequel. Have you ever seen the sequel?
I have, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah. Who was the Crow in the sequel? I forgot.
Oh God. I don't remember his name. There's the thing is that there was a sequel, and then there was like a TV sequel that was the third one. There's been several attempts at continuing or rebooting that series, and I none of them have been good.
Yeah, let's see here. Let me see, because I know it was called City of Angels. I've only ever seen the 1994 one with Brandon Lee. So who the Crow here was Vincent Perez was the Crow.
Vincent
Uh,
Perez.
yeah, and he's done things like let's see here. I don't recognize any of this stuff. He's mostly, I think he's a French actor.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, yeah, he's from Switzerland. Okay, he's from Switzerland. Yeah, he's mostly done that. So yeah, I don't recognize any of his credits here. But,
Hmm.
yeah, I heard the soundtrack of this is pretty good, though. I heard that's pretty much the only real good thing about it is the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but if there was one thing you maybe would expect for it to work, it would be the soundtrack. I know the TV series was called Stairway to Heaven.
I didn't know there was a TV series?
Yeah, it just had one season. There was an actor, Mark Dacascos, was the Crow in that version.
Okay. I feel like I know this this was the dude in John Wick 3. He was in John Wick 3. He was the dude that
Oh
was, like,
wow, yes he was.
yeah, fighting John Wick, but he really loved John Wick, like, he was, like, a super fan. It's like, "Oh my god, it's John
Yeah.
Wick." No, he was, like, a super fan. He was also in, let's see, Cradle to the Grave. He was also in that. The Jet Li DMX movie. Oh, he was also, yeah, in Mortal Kombat. The not the new one that came out, but when they did the YouTube version of it with like
Oh,
he was
okay.
the Kung Lao in that one. Okay. All
Huh.
right. Huh. Yes, I've seen this guy before. Let me see the trailer for this. I've never seen this.
I caught like a little bit on TV one time. There's also The Crow Salvation and The Crow Wicked Prayer. So there's four movies actually, it looks like.
Wow, 4 movies. Oh, okay. So they really were trying to make The Crow happen, huh? Trying to make
Yeah,
a franchise out of The Crow.
they really, really did.
I want you to give your friends a message. The crow comes for them tonight.
Now, Eric Draven has been given a second chance. Show me what you got. To set things right.
Damn, this looks like some TV shit, don't it? Like,
It
wow.
really does.
Wow, this looks like some TV.
Too angry to be an angel.
Like that looks more low budget than Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Oh man, that really looks like some TV shit. Okay.
Like there
Um,
were two movies that almost got made. One by Rob Zombie called The Crow 2037, and then another one by DMX called The Crow Lazarus, and neither of those actually happened.
wow. The DMX almost made The Crow. Wow.
DMX almost made The Crow.
Wow, that's something I kinda wanna see. Good old DMX. I wonder if he would have made The
It,
Crow black or what, and I
it,
wonder.
it says the film would have been The Crow Lazarus would have been about a rapper who chooses to leave the music scene for the love of woman and is killed during a drive-by shooting. The rapper is then reincarnated as the Crow to take revenge on the gang responsible for his death. So yeah, yeah.
So he was gonna make basically like Tupac the Crow, huh? It's gonna be like the Tupac story, but he was gonna turn into the Crow? Okay.
That would not have helped with the conspiracy theories.
So it's like The Crow Salvation. Kristen Dunst was in this one. Okay. And this was Eric Mobius was the Crow in this.
Yeah,
And
this one I have not seen.
so Kristen Dunst was also in this one, and then there was The Crow Wicked Prayer, which is the 4th film, and then Edward Furlong played the Crow in this one,
Oh,
John Connor.
weird. Huh.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know he was the Crow at one point. Alright,
Yeah, I didn't realize at all.
let me see that one, let's see. Wicked Prayer.
There's more
And
of a crow rabbit hole than we thought.
yeah, and then also this had speaking of Buffy, this had David Boreanaz was in this, the Crow.
Really?
Speaking of that one. I don't know, the soundtrack to this feels more 90s, not like early 2000s. I don't know.
It does. This one was 2005 though.
Yeah, 2005. Who's that again? That's what, Tara Reid or who's that?
Oh yeah,
Tara Reid.
yeah, I think so.
We are told that when someone dies, the crow carries their soul to the land of the dead.
Maybe they went with the '90s aesthetic because they thought we got one of the guys from Buffy, so let's make it look as much like
Crow
Buffy
can
as
bring their
possible.
soul back to put
Mm,
the wrong
true.
things right.
Uh,
we kill that guy?
and by this time, 2007, I mean 2005, I think was he done with
Danny,
Buffy? Angel? Oh yeah,
yeah,
Dan.
yeah. Well, he leaves Buffy in like the third or at the end of the third season, and then he had a whole 5 season spin-off show about his
Dennis
character as
Hopper's
well.
in this?
And I want to say I saw Danny Trejo for a split second
Oh yeah,
there.
you did. You saw him. He was right.
Okay.
Then
Not that
sometimes
not that
the
it's a
crow can
big
bring
surprise
their
when you
soul
see him
back
randomly
to
pop
put
up
the
in something
wrong
like this.
things right.
Didn't we kill that guy?
Yeah, there he goes, right there, jiggling. Yeah, got the titties
Jiggling
out.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out there. Yeah. So wow, I didn't know there was so many Crow movies. Like wow, I got to maybe review one of these ones. I put up a poll, see what people want. Since there's
Yeah.
one, two, 4 Crow movies before this new one coming
And
out.
then the series was 22 episodes long.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think about the original Crow, the OG Crow? What do you think about
I enjoy it. I mean, it's sometimes I think it is a little edgy '90s for its own good, but I do think it's enjoyable. It's got a killer soundtrack for sure. It's got that old school goth feel. I think it's a classic from its time period, but I really do think it's so rooted in its time period that I just have a hard time seeing seeing a new version of it being successful or working all that well. And clearly, as they've tried many times, and to not very much success. So I don't know. And yeah, like the visual look of the new one doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. But I do think this original is a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah, and director Alex, Proyas directed. He also did Dark City, which is very good,
Mm.
by the way. Dark City,
Yeah.
that's with Kiefer Sutherland in it. He also did I, Robot with Will Smith. Um,
Mm.
and he also did Knowing, and he also that's a Nicolas Cage movie, isn't it? Knowing?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's a wacky Nicolas Cage movie.
And the last movie he directed was Gods of Egypt. That's the last one he
Oh no.
Yeah. So it just kinda got worse. He like instead of going upwards, he went downwards. Like, you could see
Uh,
his movies just kept getting kinda worse and worse there.
there's
Um,
there's Egyptians and there's Scottish accents, man.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so yeah, he directed this. I think a lot of people really love the performance of Brandon Lee. I love the performance of Brandon Lee, who was Bruce Lee's son. He's famous for that. And it's kinda like one of those famous what if Hollywood stories of, like, if his career continued, what type of
Yeah.
career would he have? People thought he had a good start, you know what I mean? He could have been a bright star there. And it was like one of those freaky accident type things of, it was a prop gun, and then they fired it, and then he ended up dying from that. And I know there's like some weird conspiracy theories people say about that, like I don't know, like he owed money or something, or Bruce Lee, or like involved in the yakuza or some shit like that.
It wasn't Alec Baldwin that fired the prop gun, right?
No, it wasn't Alec Baldwin.
No,
He
I'm
stayed
joking.
away there. But that dude who did do it, he still has he still went on. He still works a lot. Like I see him pop up
Okay.
in tons of stuff, and he's talked about it before. He talked about like he's like, yeah, it's like that kind of haunts me. Like it's like a nightmare.
Oh
I was
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you were responsible for that, it was an accident. He's like, "Oh shit, I felt terrible." He still feels that way. Yeah. So yeah. I forgot the guy's name though, but I think yeah. Let me see if I can find his name. But yeah, he still talks about that. But I don't know. Maybe you think so. It's just a movie that is just such a like a '90s thing there. Like,
It's I mean, it's possible that they put a good one out, and once you see a new one, that 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 will change, and I won't feel that way anymore. But just from how many times they've already tried, it feels like it almost feels cursed. I mean, one because he died on set, and then also because they've made so many attempts to so little success. I mean, the bits and pieces I have seen of like the second movie or that TV series they're not just like not good. They're like bottom of the barrel, like just really awful. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it definitely feels so rooted in its time to me that it'd just be really hard to change it around. Maybe if they did it as a period piece, maybe that would work better.
and this is the guy right here, Michael Massey. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
right here. Yes, I still see him. Yeah, pop up every now and then. In different things. Uh, yeah. So yeah, he talks about deeply affected by it, and Lee was 28 years old when he passed away. 28. Yeah, young guy. But let me see. Let me see the photos of Bill Skarsgård. So people were talking about that recently. Bill Skarsgård as the Crow. His love interest is going to be FKA Twigs. Very good musician. I like her music a lot. I don't know if you know about FKA Twigs.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, you're not familiar with her game. I understand. Good old FKA.
I'll tell you now, man. I all the pop culture categories that I have a lot of trivia knowledge of. Music is probably the thing that I'm just like the least aware of, just overall.
Okay. But yeah, she's loving. I think the last movie I saw her in was that Shia LaBeouf movie. Have you ever seen that movie he did about like it was kind of like a semi autobiographical movie? Honey Boy. You ever seen
No, I remember hearing about it, but I never did see it.
it was pretty good. I liked Honey Boy, but I think I heard later on that Shia LaBeouf kind of made up most of that shit. Like that didn't like
Eh,
his dad wasn't abusive at all or anything like that. Like I think he kind of made it up or something.
okay.
So
Huh.
yeah, there was that. But Yeah, so but I think it's a good movie. I mean, hey, now knowing that afterwards, it's like, oh well, you a blind motherfucker then now. Now kind of
Yeah,
felt it.
that guy, man. I don't.
Yeah. But here he is. So here is Bill Skarsgård as the Crow. This is People Magazine right here. Some photos. Let me open up the article right here. So yeah, so you have this. How you like the haircut? He's kind of got like what do you call that haircut? Not a mullet. It's not a mullet, right?
It looks like kind of a military cut to me, actually.
You know, because he's still
I'm
got
not
the
sure what
part.
the.
He's still kind of got the
Oh,
party in the back, but
he does, yeah. I guess it is kind of a mullet then, yeah.
yeah. Um, and like you said, this is Cholo Joker. Uh,
It's all I could think of when I saw it.
I don't know. I guess when I immediately saw it, I immediately thought of. I still think Pennywise. I don't know. It's like when he got to. I guess I just thought of that. I guess when he puts on makeup like that, it's like I still just think, oh, it's him as Pennywise again.
Hmm.
There, huh? But I don't know. I mean, do you think this is a good choice? Get Bill Skarsgård?
I mean, I think he's a great actor. I think he probably could pull the character off. I'm, yeah, I'm not sold on how they made him look, but I mean, yeah, I'll give it a chance. I won't write it off entirely because I do like him, and I think he's pretty solid. I'm more excited to see him as Nosferatu though, probably.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that face coming for you at night. I mean, look at
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's a
that.
freaky looking guy. Even without any makeup on, he's just like, ugh.
Yeah. He looks a lot like Steve Buscemi. Like Steve Buscemi.
He does look like Steve Buscemi. I never thought of that, but yeah, that's a totally true.
Yeah. But yeah, who's directing that? That's Robert Eggers, right? Nosferatu, right?
Yes, yes, Robert Eggers.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's one of my most anticipated movies this year. It's coming out. Robert Eggers,
Same.
Nosferatu. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't missed yet, so I'm deeply, deeply looking forward to that. William Defoe is gonna be in it. Nicholas Hoult is gonna be in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp. Pretty good cast. Got a really good
Yeah,
cast.
that's a solid lineup.
There. So yeah, so I think that's gonna fit perfectly. And Robert Eggers has already said, I don't care about the present. I only want to do movies in the past. I don't care. Uh,
Works for me.
he only wants to do movies where there was no technology whatsoever, not even the radio.
I
Yeah,
mean, I've thought for a long time that a lot of horror, especially vampires in particular, would work better as period piece stories. I think the more technology, especially internet, that you have in a vampire story, the less interesting it is.
mm, yeah. So I'm heavily anticipating to see what he can kind of do with it. Yeah, since I guess we're on Bill Skarsgård anyway, we could bring up his movie. So you haven't seen the trailer for this? Boy Kills the World. You haven't seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh, let's check. Let's do a live reaction right now. Let's get your
Let's do it.
opinion on this. And then we'll move on to the Borderlands trailer there. But here we go.
Let's do this. This was never a great city, but it was ours.
Are you with me?
And that's H. John Benjamin doing the voiceover there. Um,
Yeah.
he does a lot of work, voiceover work. He was, Archer there in that series,
Yeah.
which I never finished. It just went on too long for me. I'm like, I'm good.
Its peak, it's went on 14 seasons. Its peak is probably season three. So
Wow. How long did you watch up till?
I've actually seen all but the very last one. I still found bits and pieces of it funny enough to throw on in like the background while I'm working on something else. So I'll probably finish it, but yeah, it definitely lost its magic over time for sure.
Mm. And this kid, I feel like I recognize this kid. I feel like I've seen him in something before.
He does look familiar, but I can't place it.
I feel like, damn, it's killing me now. Wasn't he? I feel like he was in some superhero thing or something. Or
Boy
oh,
kills.
oh, he's Homelander's son. I think that's Homelander's son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that Ryan. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Always.
Until Hilda Vanderkoy took it from us. This is how she keeps control. They call it the calling.
And we're all gonna watch and cheer as you die.
That's me, facing televised execution by breakfast cereal mascots. Not my happiest day. But let me take you back to an even worse one. The day the Vanderkoys killed my family and left me deaf and mute. So I made a 3-step plan. Step 1, give myself an inner voice. I took the last one I remembered from this video game. Player 1 wins. Step 2, get stronger. A lot stronger. And step 3, join a team.
And that's Andrew Koji there, who that's Nick. That's his man crush in Warrior. There, have you seen Warrior?
I've seen part of the first season. I have a friend that introduced me to it and wants to watch it with me, so I've held off until he had a chance to do it. But I've
Yeah,
really liked what I've seen.
yeah. I hope it gets revived. I think it's going to be on Netflix. So I hope people generally watch it there, and then maybe Netflix will buy it, and then they'll bring it back for a season 4 because it ended this latest season on a really good cliffhanger. So I kind of liked where it kind of ended.
Join a team.
Welcome to the Resistance.
Yeah, go team. The mission is simple. Make the Vanderkoys pay for what they have done. Insert crazy action montage.
You fall in love, sing is caving in. You've never been so nuts about a guy you wanna laugh.
Here comes the hopper.
You cross your heart and hope to die.
You know how hard it is to get a cereal company to sponsor mass murder?
You ring the bell.
I feel like is it kind of mandatory? Much as like with action movies where they set action scenes to music, is it kind of now you think mandatory to have action scenes take place in a kitchen? Like they is like, oh, let's have them fight in, like a kitchen area.
I've definitely seen it quite a few times. But I mean, hey, I work in a kitchen, and there's a lot of stuff you could kill people with in there.
Yeah,
It's a good spot for it, so I can see why they use it so often.
true. Yeah, I mean, just you ever imagine throwing hot grease on somebody's face, grits on?
I mean, I do it on myself every once in a while on accident, but
I don't like this plan.
You have reached your final destination.
Hmm.
looks like the bunker from Cabin in the Woods there,
Oh yeah, it did a little bit there.
coming out of that elevator.
Oh, right.
You have reached your final destination.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Oh, it's got a nice cast. Got Charlotte Copley's in this, who seems like he's kind of making a little bit of a come. I've seen him in quite a big things there.
Yeah.
You have Famke Janssen, who people know as Jean from the X-Men movies. Yeah. Okay. Brent Gilman, who people know he was just in the latest season of Stranger Things. He's been in there for a minute.
Oh my God, no! I have information. I'm gonna help you. Stop!
Oh,
Probably wasn't going to help us.
Definitely sounded like he was gonna help us.
April 26th is when it's coming out. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I think that looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'm curious. The tone's interesting. It's funny that we're gonna talk about this Borderlands trailer here right after, because that almost has the zany feel that I kind of associate with something like Borderlands. It feels, but it does feel like it has a decent, solid identity there. You can see some Evil Dead influence, I think, as well. Obviously, Sam Raimi's a producer on it, and there's definitely some of the kind of weird camera work I noticed in a couple shots there, where especially like when he like kicks the guy up onto into the air above the table, and then he's floating back down. There's some solid shots in there. I'm curious. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah. Do you think it's kind of like I don't know if I'm seeing a little bit more of this, or maybe it's just kind of rarely it happens, but like your action hero protagonist is like mute or deaf or mute. Like they just like I saw that
Um,
just recently in John Woo, Joe Kinnaman with Silent Night, where he was mute in that.
I
I mean, It
Hmm.
seems like kind of
I,
John Wick almost might as well be mute. I mean, he really doesn't say that much
well,
anyway.
that's true.
Yeah.
When you had
Uh,
you had one of the villains in, is it the second one that was mute?
yep. I forgot the
Yeah,
actress's
I guess you
name.
do see that a few times. I feel like I honestly I don't watch as many movies as you do, so I feel like I haven't noticed it as much. But even then, I guess I still have seen it a few times for sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something else I just recently had. Ruby, I think Ruby Rose was her name that did it in the second
Mm.
one.
Oh yeah,
She
she played Batwoman in the CW and tried to scam the company out of to pay for her insurance claim.
Oh, so she didn't really get hurt on set or something, or what?
She got hurt, but it was on the set of something else. At least this is my understanding. She got hurt on the set of filming a movie and then lied about where it happened to try and get Warner Brothers to pay for it.
Oh, they're like, "You got more money?" I guess Warner Brothers had more money, huh, she thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, so I don't know, I feel like I kinda seen that a little bit now. I don't know, I wonder if that's kinda like a cop out to make your, like, action it's like, well, people aren't here for, like, the personality of the main hero, they're here for the action, but I think you also like to see maybe some good charming personalities there and that good action stuff, so I wondered that. But, yeah, the action looks
I
good,
think it
looks
all
cool.
depends on the supporting cast.
Yeah, and the supporting cast looks fun here, and this world that they have here almost kinda seems like a very video game-like world almost, like, with this evil
Totally.
family and kinda the way they are. Yeah, speaking about video games, here we got a video game, movie here, another adaptation that they're doing of a video game in Borderlands is what they're doing, and this also has another stat cast. I've never played Borderlands, before. I've heard about it, never played it, though. I don't even really know what the series is really about. Do you?
I played a little bit. Borderlands is very much a looter shooter, which is it's just kind of not my style of game. It's a first person shooter, and it is very much about clearing them guys out so you can upgrade your weapons. So you're better at clearing guys out, so you can upgrade your weapons. The story in the first one is pretty bare bones. It's just, hey, we're a bunch of treasure hunters looking for treasure on this planet, and that's kind of really I think all there is to it. I think the sequel games, 'cause there were a couple of them. I think they started expanding on the world a bit more, but the original was very simple.
Mm, okay. Alright, let's give this trailer a look. You haven't seen it? I haven't seen it. Let's go.
God, I hate this planet.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go
Kate
hunting
Blanchett. I always love Kate Blanchett. I always love to see Kate Blanchett. Always great in anything she's in, really.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's probably one of my favorites.
uh,
for it, you'd better take any
you got
help
Kevin
you can
Hart, you
get.
got Jamie Lee Curtis, you got that girl who is in every big thing ever. I don't know who her agent is, but damn, that's a good agent. I mean, she is in every big thing.
And if you go
She
hunting
was in the
for it,
Barbie movie. She
better
was
take
in
any.
Ahsoka. She was in Endgame as young
Yeah, the
Gamora. So damn, I was like, wow, she got a great agent. Yeah.
Help you can get.
And Jack Black is the voice of Loki.
Because it's
yeah.
the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
Oh
That's not
damn,
a
that's
great
like
sign.
yeah, that's cause you read my mouth like damn, Uncharted, Spider-Man, depending on which Spider-Man we
Lead with
talking about.
lead
And
with Uncharted. That's
and Venom, yeah, that's not that's not really good.
What is that smell?
Piss wash color.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window!
Roll it. It's pee. It's pee. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
Do you know how many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay. What?
Damn, Jamie Lee Curtis showing cleavage. Yeah, damn. Cleavage.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All
oh,
right.
all right.
Good for you, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Major
Yeah, good for her.
Time to make it rain with your body parts.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
How do you feel about Kevin Hart? How do you feel about
I feel like I've seen some things that I've enjoyed him in, but I also think he can be a little too chaotic sometimes. The comedy energy that he has in movies. Um, sometimes I feel like he's just screaming,
him?
screaming, and then that's it's. I don't know. Sometimes it seems like that's what he's trying to you do to get a laugh. He's not doing it here though, so I do appreciate that quite a bit.
Yeah, he seems very restrained in this. Feeling very kind of pulled back in this. Um,
What my understanding is the character he's playing is like the most serious and straight-laced of the characters in the game. So it's
hmm,
interesting that they cast him at all because it is supposed to be like the least funny of them.
huh? Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, why they would kind of maybe he wants to venture out. He wants to maybe go a little bit more of a serious territory. Try to
Hey,
venture
I'm
out.
all for it. Why not?
Okay.
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What am I doing? I needed a gun. So you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all. What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Oops, actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really waiting for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
Hmm. What are your thoughts there?
That's amazing they were able to turn out another Guardians of the Galaxy movie so quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like very, very, very heavy Guardians of the Galaxy type vibe with this. Yeah.
Especially the hey, there's only one of you, but that makes you special. That feels like the message in that first movie, just straight up kind of taken verbatim. Um, it's got a it's almost like a little bit of a Guardians like meets Mad Max vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of describes. I think the Kate Blanchett character Lilith, very much a Peter Quill roguish type character that you have here. Um, so I'm not like I said, I'm not the best person to really talk about this, probably since I never played the games. I don't know about these characters. I don't know if they look like they translate well here. They're doing it. Um, yeah, I mean, does it look fun? Guess maybe it could be. I mean, you got some good cast here. The action like might looks pretty good. I think the big kaiju monster that showed up at the end looked pretty all right. Um, can they all kind of work together and they have good chemistry together? Maybe. I think that's what probably will sell this more than anything. Like you said, very much like what the Guardians movie did, is you had it with this you had a great cast and really good writing and good direction. Now that you had James Gunn, who really was able to really bring those people together and directing this, and who's writing this is Eli Roth. Um,
I know that there was and I'm not see if I can pull up his name here, but I know there was one other writer that worked on this, and
uh,
he specifically asked for his name to be removed from the credits because he did
Joe
not like.
Crombie.
Yes, yeah, he actually asked them to remove his name from this. So that I
Wow.
feel like that's also not a great sign.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his IMDb, and this is the only thing he's credited for. I don't see anything else. So it's like, damn. I mean, for a guy who's maybe trying to get his foot in the door for like immediately is like, fuck this. This is so bad. Like I got to take my name off this before it tanks my whole career. Like, huh? That's all right. I kind of wonder what we're in store for here. But
Yeah.
what's your opinion of Eli Roth?
I've never been a huge Eli Roth fan. I mean, I know he sticks mostly to horror, so I suppose seeing him maybe branch out and do something different could be interesting. But I can't say that there's an Eli Roth movie that I think of and I go, oh, that was that great Eli Roth movie. I really don't have one of those. So uh I'd be willing to give it a chance, certainly, but I will say right off the bat, just in the trailer, there's a few kind of gross out humor jokes that like if you're putting your best foot forward in the trailer, you're trying to put your best material out there to get people in. There's a few things there that they're doing that make me go, yeah, I don't know how into this I am.
Didn't like the piss joke? I saw your face with the piss joke came up. You didn't like the piss joke.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and not that you can't have any, not that like a humor that's kind of gross can never be funny. It just, I don't know. It just felt very one note to me. But again, maybe there's more in the context of a full scene. I'm just going off of what they did show.
Yeah. Speaking about Eli Roth, we did do a review for this, and I saw this last year, Thanksgiving, and I thought this was pretty solid. I wouldn't say it was great or anything like that, but it was fun. It was Eli Roth back to return, to horror there, and this was a good kind of comedy horror type film. Did you end up seeing this?
No, but I will say I feel like they missed an opportunity to title it Thanksgilling.
Thanksgiving would have been good. That's a good actually. They should have you in the marketing department. That would actually been pretty good. Thanksgiving.
Well, maybe that's a movie out there already. Maybe I just don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, this was fun. Like I said, he mostly is known for doing horror. I think the only other good Eli Roth movie for me is um what's that movie called with Justin Long where they're in the cabin? Cabin
Oh,
Fever. Cabin Fever.
yeah. Okay. You know what? That is probably the best one that yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I like that one. I like that one a lot. But a lot of his other stuff is kind of like, it's all right. Nothing
Like
really.
Hostel, I was never a big fan of. Was it Green Inferno? I didn't think that was very good.
His
Knock Knock, not great.
Grindhouse movie that
Oh,
he did like
Planet
a
Terror.
vignette for it. Because I think Planet Terror was Robert Rodriguez. I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But I think he did like a vignette for it, which was actually the movie that Thanksgiving turned out to be. So he actually did that. So
Oh, okay.
but I never seen this one. He did the movie with Jack Black, The House with the Clock in Its Walls. I've never seen that
No, I never did see that either.
one. But it also starred Kate Blanchett and Jack Black.
Oh well, there you go. I'm sure he called him up. He was like, "Hey, just,
Yeah.
just I saw you guys just a couple years ago. Let's get in here and knock this thing out."
Yeah, yeah, Kate Blanchett. I know you're used to doing really prestigious, Oscar nominated roles, but come, slum it a little bit. Come back, do some good bullshit with us. But yeah. So yeah, yeah, there you have it. And this
It's
is
been a
coming.
long time since she disappointed audiences with Benjamin Button, so it's about time.
Yeah. What was did you ever see her movie Tar? Tar is very good. Did you ever see that?
Tar. No, I have not.
That's really good. I recommend checking it out.
I'll have to put that on my list.
August 9th of this year is when Borderlands is coming out.
That feels about right. It's a solid like summer movie near the end of. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of like teenagers, 20-something-year-olds that played the games going to see it right in the middle of summer before college kind of kicks back in.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, we'll see that. Give a appearance on that. So it's all real trailers really, that were out there. Yeah, yeah. And of course, as always, after we're done with this stream, I'll go ahead and raid somebody. See some good people on that we go ahead and raid. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I'll go
For
ahead
sure.
and give them a raid there. But yeah, yeah. And then of course, if you can't stay for this, we do have a stream coming up Friday. We're gonna be doing a review for Dune, Dune 2. Dune 2 doing it. There. And we're gonna be doing a review for that. That's the only real review that we're gonna be doing. And you got the bucket.
I
You,
did.
you didn't lose
Got
your
the
hand in it.
Nope.
Hey.
Well, it's actually like rubber bits that are in this little part here that's like so it like bends and folds into the when you put your hand in. It feels
It's,
very weird.
it's not irritating at all trying to reach in there.
I think if you're really sitting there like reaching your hand in for every bite of popcorn, you probably will get tired of it, but it comes off, snaps out pretty easily. And it's just a solid just popcorn tin too. So
Hmm. Nice. But you already saw it. Did you want to give your
yes.
thoughts a little bit of what you thought about Dune too?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was thrilled with this movie as a been a big fan of the book for a really long time. I think this is genuinely my favorite adaptation of a book since Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. I was thrilled with how they executed the story, and I think splitting it up into two was a great decision. Even though the first movie may feel slow and exposition heavy, it it allowed this film to let everything breathe, let everything feel like it takes its time and feels natural, and they don't have to leave a lot out from the book. I feel like they managed to adapt this really fully. And something I would say I'm particularly impressed by is, when you read the book, dude, the characters are not particularly relatable or investing. They feel like themes that have dialogue. They don't even feel like characters a lot of the time, and that's part of the point. It's more of a philosophical sci-fi study on religion and the way that religious doctrine informs societies and culture, and how, kind of making you kind of think about where do the stories of religion come from and how can they be misinterpreted over time. But I think that this adaptation managed to do something really impressive where they faithfully adapted that sort of story, which is, I think, hard enough. And I think they managed to add just a little bit to make it somewhat personable and relatable too, which for some people might even be an improvement over the source material, depending on your perspective. This was yeah, I mean, if you want me to give a rating, it would be a this is cinema all the way.
Wow, this is some our highest rating there for Dune
I
2.
will say, I think that the two films are going to be much better if you watch them back to back. And then that goes for both of them. I think the one of the few problems with that first one that I had is it feels like you only watched half a movie, and it is because it is only half of the book that they're adapting. And I really feel like a Lord of the Rings experience, you want to get the most out of these. You're going to want to sit and watch both of them together, especially if you haven't seen them at all. If you're waiting, I have at least one friend who waited until the second part was out so that he could see them together. And I do think that's going to be the best way to do it.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you saw Double Toast. They did a review of this. And
Not yet.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but they mentioned how kind of the villains in this movie, the Harkonnens, how they kind of feel kind of stereotypically evil, like there isn't really much complexity to them. And then from people who've read the book, they said that the Harkonnens, their world is like known for having so much color and being so vibrant. But then here you look at it and like it's all kind of washed out there where they're incredibly white and everything's kind of black and white. What do you kind of think about that there?
I think that's a fair criticism. I will say that is definitely something I think you could say that about more than just the Harkonnen world. The books do describe things a little bit more colorful across the board, but I'll also say that the book refrains from being super descriptive about the environment in general. Like there's a little bit, but it does kind of pull back on being super. So I think in adapting this, you're interpreting a lot for what the story is giving you. For me, it works. I could totally see for others why it might not work. But I loved like the black and white sequence right there. I won't spoil anything, but the part of the book that's from, there's a certain element in the lore in the world that I think they had a really good reason for giving it that sort of uh, black and white visual motif.
Mm. Hmm. Wow. So you really loved it. You really loved it.
Yeah, I was a big fan. I kind of thought they did the impossible, adapted the unadaptable.
Nice. And there is a third one coming. Didn't even know is doing a third one, but he's not saying I'm not rushing it. I'm not gonna rush it. Gonna take my time with it.
Good. The
Um,
only concern I do have is the second book is not exactly like less dense than the first one, and I I know he wants to do one more movie and adapt that whole second book, and I kind of wish that he would just split it up into two again because I thought that worked in this first one or first two's favor really well.
mm, yeah. So we'll see though. So yeah, one more is kind of. So you think he can close it out with one more? Or do you think he needs to split it up again and then
I think you should split it up again.
split it up?
I think maybe not. It's not impossible to do it in one more. I think it could be pulled off, but I don't know. I think my preference would be to see it split in two.
Okay. All right. We'll see though. But if he can close it out, he can close it out really well. Let's see what he does. Did you have a problem with the length? This is 2 hours and 40 something minutes. Did you have a problem? No, felt
Not
no,
at
not
all.
pretty. Okay.
I've got a bladder of steel, man.
Yeah. Did you have a problem with the length in the first one, or you're just fine with them?
Well, the first one it really didn't matter because that came out in the middle of the pandemic, and I got to watch it at home, and
Oh,
I didn't
true.
even have to go to There was no theater option at the time, so. But this one was even longer, I think, of the two, and yeah, it didn't really bother me.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I wonder. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it at home. Good old HBO Max. Then go. I'm seeing it tomorrow, so I'll be seeing it
Okay.
late tomorrow there. And I heard it IMAX is the way to go if you can see it in
I did
IMAX.
see it in IMAX. We won free tickets actually, and then it was right in the front row, craning my neck up at the screen.
Oh yeah, damn, like damn, you were like that, huh? Front, very front.
And then the sound design of the movie was phenomenal too. I mean, I genuinely I could feel like the inside of my own throat vibrating from the bass of the of some of
Wow,
the stuff going
jeez,
on screen.
wow, okay, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not like a Christopher Nolan movie where you can't hear the dialogue and then it's too loud and the sound mixing's off, like something like Tenet.
No,
Uh,
no, I thought it was mixed really well. It's just a couple of specific scenes, but they're not talking during those scenes. Is the big difference.
mm. All right, that's pretty cool then. So yeah, that was Save's review for good old Dune 2. I can't wait to see it. It's the first big movie of the year, Dune 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, next one is gonna be them boys teaming up, tag team, Godzilla Kong teaming up.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
yeah, good old boys there. All right, I'm gonna pull up my notes for this Cannon Busters. There, we're gonna get started on this review. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, let me do this. Yeah, and next our next anime review series is gonna be Black Lagoon. That's the next one that's gonna be out there. Then got to see right now. Got a poll up right now. People can vote on the poll. Twitter.com. Type in the afternoon. You'll be able to find us. We put up Claymore. Put up Ghost in the Shell. Put up JoJo. And put up what was the other one that I put up there for
With the Michiko and Hatchin.
Michigo and Hatchin? Yes. Right now I think Claymore is winning. Oh shit. Sage just came out there. I'll wait for him to join me. Oh, there he goes. Yeah.
There
Um,
we go. I'm back.
and yeah, Claymore is winning. Claymore is
Oh,
winning
okay.
right now at 40%. I have never heard of this one before.
I have had it recommended based on being a fan of Berserk, so I assume it's going to be pretty violent. It's I know that the title Claymore is supposed to be kind of a they're like a race of like almost Amazon style like warrior women.
Okay. I don't know. She kind of looks like a little bit like Taylor Swift a little bit. What do you think?
I've mostly just seen the poster of the back of the head, so I see the blonde hair for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this. All right, so our first and only review of the day is going to be for the anime series Cannon Busters. Cannon Busters is a Netflix original anime series. This is based off an American comic, but the animation is done by a Japanese animation studio there, so it does count as anime there. Here in this series, you have a kind of a fantastical land here, a mix of fantasy plus technology there of Gearbolt is what this land is. And amongst you have a trio of characters who you see in this that we're following, one of whom is Philly the Kid in this, who's voiced by Kenny Blank. Very much like a Jet kind of character here. I mean, not Jet, I'm sorry, Spike from Cowboy Bebop type character here. Mugen from Samurai Champloo, maybe even a little bit of Trigun, as you mentioned, Vash Stampede kind of character there. Big outlaw in this world, kind of going around, and plus he's immortal. That he cannot die. Every time he does die, and then he immediately comes back to life, a number gets written on his chest there of how many times there. He drives a very fancy car, Cadillac type car that can transform into a giant mech Hey, that's anime for you. Car that
It's
just
anime.
it turns into a giant mech there. You also have a companion, two companions that are with them. One of whom is Sam, which is a robot there. It's an acronym. She's a friend robot, goes around, tries to introduce herself to everybody as trying to make friends with everybody. She has a mission of trying to find a prince of a land that she was once a part of, trying to meet back up with him. And also you have the robot that they're with, and I think the robot's name was
It's, Casey Turnbuckle, was that right?
Casey Turnbuckle. You are correct. Who is the cute little engineer robot that kind of found around. And we've seen this before. A nice trio of characters who kind of grow closer as their journey, becoming pals. We saw that a lot in Samurai Champloo. There, they had one mission, one goal, and they kind of accomplished that at the end of the series. There, and you see them kind of bond together, in then kind of their journey. So Sage, what are your thoughts on Cannon Busters here?
Well, so this was an interesting one. I hadn't really heard of it too much before, but I think going into it, I totally see kind of influence worn on its sleeve, right? You got your Cowboy Bebop, your Samurai Champloo, I think especially with the desert space western feel, very Trigun. I got a lot of Trigun vibes from the some of the mech stuff to the kind of the outfits and the names of some of the one episode villains they'd come across. And speaking of a way in which it's similar to Samurai Champloo, you definitely have a lot of kind of one-off mini stories. Like you have a longer overarching narrative that's relevant in particular at the beginning and the end, but you definitely have a lot of these kind of one-off kind of mini narratives happening along the way. Um, and I think that works pretty well. I guess one thing though is I feel like a lot of these characters have really cool concepts, and it's a really interesting setup. Um, and then tell me if you agree or disagree. But I don't know if I felt like too many of them moved beyond that kind of conceptual phase or developed in super significant ways.
Um, So the creator of the series, his name is LaShawn Thompson. He's worked on other things such as Black Dynamite, which was the kind of anime-esque animated series based on the black exploitation movie there with Michael Jai White, which was fun. I like that. That was pretty funny there. He also has worked on things like Legend of Korra and the Aaron Magruder's Boondocks, which also Boondocks had a very much kind of anime inspired type of style to it as well. And I bring up that because I think with your question, um, I think it wears its influence a lot on its sleeve there, with this series, and I think when it comes to the characters, yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel really any tension because basically a lot of these characters are like you have one they're basically immortal almost. Like you do have one guy who literally is immortal, and then the robot and Sam who is the cannon buster. So it's like this big mega weapon. So it seems like it's hard in this universe to tell, okay, power scaling. Talked about that a lot in
Right.
JJK of like, okay, what tops this and what is equal to this and everything like that. So when they get into kind of these situations of tension, it's hard to really feel anything much because it's like, well, I know they're kind of going to make it out there because of the nature of these kind of characters here. And I think in concept, like someone like Philly the Kid, who I say this very much seems like a very like Spike Spiegel type of with the hair and the look of him, you know what I mean? That kind of inspired type of look to him. Cool character maybe in concept there, but as far as execution goes, I don't think is as cool as those kind of characters maybe that you're trying to be there. What's kind of your opinion there?
That's kind of exactly what I'm thinking. I think, like I said, I do think from like an art design perspective, I think it's a I think it's a good design. Conceptually, I like the idea of where they're going with it, but I do think it kind of struggles to kind of feel like a totally completed idea, to feel full in its execution. I'd actually say, because I think you can do these kinds of narratives with characters that feel immortal or feel invulnerable, but I think when you do, you need to balance it out with a more significant level of introspection. And I didn't really find that. Maybe one exception was in the probably would have been my favorite episode that when they're in the junkyard, and I thought that was maybe the most humanity I given to any of the characters, where Casey, the little robot, is, she's like an outdated model that's not really useful anymore. and is kind of obsessed with like fixing broken machines. And there's a little bit of that, kind of confronting almost, it's a robot, but kind of confronting mortality in a way, and usefulness. But I feel like it really only came out in that one episode, and it's something that, again, I think you can do these stories where there's maybe not a lot of physical stakes, but there need to be more introspective stakes to balance it out. And I think it missed the mark on that.
Yeah. I also don't think he I mean, with a character like that, it seems like, a mix of Mugen and, like, sometimes Mugen was kinda pathetic in Samurai Champloo sometimes, and as far as, his kinda way he was kinda portrayed, but he also was kinda funny too in that
Yeah.
sense. I don't think that humor is really here with Philly the Kid almost. In some sequences in back and forth between him and Casey Turnbuckle, because Casey Turnbuckle, the little robot, that just annoys the shit out of him. So in some cases, it is kind of funny to some degree. Um I thought that for me, the best character and the best opportunity for kind of introspection, as you said, it's probably Sam, who's the robot there. I thought that there was a lot of good stuff there with that character. Would you say if she's kind of the best character for you?
I think honestly, I think Casey was probably for me the one that worked the most, just because of that mortality that they dealt with. Even though it was just a little bit. Sam, I did like, probably I say second best or close, maybe a tie even between the two. The only thing I think that kneecaps what is going on with her story just a little bit is how much I did not enjoy the Prince character that so much of what she's doing and working towards is dependent on.
Yeah, Prince Kelby, the bitch ass prince, there that you see. And there's a little bit of a side story that you see throughout the series there. So you do have he's the prince of a homeland called Biotica there. That feels like the name of like Bionicles or some
Bionicle.
yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like they kind of remind me of that. But it's he's the prince of this world that got taken over. So he's escaping there, and it's very like a Game of Thrones type situation. He has his own like hound or Brienne of Tarth, like a knight that's kind of looking after him as he's going through this journey. And I don't know, it's like it's kind of hard to feel anything for the character of Prince Gale because, like you said, he is such an annoying asshole. And a lot of the journey is the like she's trying to get back to him, she was like he was one of her very first friends there that she bonded with, the robot Sam. So she's trying to make her way back to him. And it's just like hard to really care about that journey, like I said, because of the way that the character is there. What'd you kind of think about that side story, the stuff with Biotica, the stuff with Prince Kelby and the ruler and the villain too?
I wanted that bodyguard to slap him like Joffrey, man. I really thought the story kind of, even if I have my criticisms of the other part with Philly and Casey and Sam, I still think more of that works than of the Prince half of the story, or third, or however much time they spend on it. I think the whole thing kind of screeches to a halt whenever they switch over to that perspective and to that setting. And I also feel like it doesn't it doesn't do the best job of making the kind of different locales of like the kind of Western desert feel, and then this very magic fantasy city. Um, it didn't quite feel like those were taking place in the same world, or like believably within the same environment to me. It really felt like I kept kind of skipping back and forth between two totally different shows.
Yeah. And the villain, the main villain in the series is a villain called Locke. Let me put up a picture of him. And Locke almost kind of looks like a character out of like a Big Mouth or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? One of the horny
Yeah.
monsters or something. So this is kind of Locke here that you have. What did you think about the villains in the series? Were they interesting to you?
To be honest, I thought that might have been the most forgettable part. I mean, the prince at least annoyed me, whereas the villains, I feel like I honestly don't feel like I got a whole lot of anything from them. You got the detachable woman there. Uh,
Yeah. Which that kind of freaked me out watching this. Like he's got no arms, just hands. Like no, there's no
yeah,
limbs there. That kind of freaked me the hell out. Um,
it's very, yeah, that doesn't seem like it'd be the most helpful thing in the world.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of very weird. Yeah, the villains to me were kind of forgettable. I didn't really think about them much until when they did cut back to them. And he's like torturing the main dude Locke is.
I was like, oh, right, those characters are in this story.
Yeah, so that to me wasn't really the strongest element there. I did like the very much like a Trigun type series where it was kind of like, you did have always the overall story, but it was always kind of like you mentioned, like kind of a venture of the week. Like you would go to these different towns and different places and meet these different people. Um, I like the episode where he met, like, the bartenders there. I think it was, like, that, like, tied him like, that,
Mm,
killed him and then put him on a meat hook and everything like that and was, like, gonna cut him up. I like that. I like when they kinda went there. I thought that was kind of an interesting episode and pretty fun. But again, it's like, hey, this guy can't die, so, it's kinda
right.
hard to really get that much into it. You mentioned another episode you liked, that you said was your kinda one of your favorite episodes of the season. What was that episode again?
It was the one where I forget exactly what the other half of it was, but half of the episode was Casey in this, kind of almost robot graveyard. I want to say that was like 8 or 9, somewhere around there. And I thought, having this robot that is, kind of outdated and not a whole lot of use to society, see all these other machines and kind of have this obsession with fixing old broken things. I thought that was an interesting character trait and to explore with that. And I thought that was one of the most introspective, maybe the only introspective moment that the series really had.
I think that episode is episode 8, Turnbuckle Ex Machina, I think.
Yes, I do believe that's yeah.
I believe that is the episode, which I was a solid episode. I'd say one of my kinda episodes there. I think it was maybe the episode I'm talking about with the 2 bartenders was, Squeaking Springs Afternoon, maybe?
And that was 2 or 3, I want to say. It was early on
The episode I'm talking about was very early on.
with the bartender and then putting him on the meat hook.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was, yeah, maybe 3. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe.
this is 3, yeah, because it says, yeah, Mama Hitch prepares to carve up Philly's corpse as her son stripped Bessie for parts, and the magician reveals his true identity. Yeah, so, yeah, it was episode 3. So I like that episode quite a bit there. I thought that was kinda strong. Do you think that I said it's kinda wears its influences on its sleeve quite a bit. Do you think that's kind of, like, hindering the show quite a bit?
I do believe that you could do that and be very successful with it, but I do think, and I guess this is kind of what I was saying about how I didn't totally feel like the two story arcs with the kind of fantasy city and the prince running away from that, and then the desert western here. They didn't totally feel like they believably took place in the same world, and I think that is where wearing your influences on his sleeve can go a little too far. You can do it a little too much because it ended up feeling fragmented in a way. Like these things didn't. I was like, oh, that feels like this, and that feels like this, but they don't feel melded together into their own brand new thing necessarily. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And what's going on, Chill? Glad to see you, man. I mean, very much appreciated. Thanks for stopping by there, Chill. Yeah, I kind of feel that. And watching this, so this came out. This series is not a very super recent one. Let me see when did this anime.
Let's say 2018.
2018. So it's not very recent there, and it only had one season, 12 episodes. Um, yeah, I mean, it just was for me. It was just okay. That's about it. It's not one of the stronger ones I've seen, there, and with all this different plethora of all the, very much animes out there right now, I wouldn't say like, "Hey, go check this out right now," if you want to kinda, really watch something there. And the trailer for it, I think, is maybe more interesting than maybe the show itself. I think it's a good trailer. I think it sells it pretty well. A lot of stuff kinda going on there. You see a lot of action there. You see a lot of stuff blowing up. You see crazy people with no limbs there, kinda going off. It's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe this could be something kinda good, kinda interesting." So I think the trailer probably sells it better than the actual show. Um, yeah, and that's kinda how I just really feel about it. Are you that enthusiastic about this show?
No, I think I feel kind of exactly the same way you do. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I do think that it's got some good ideas and good pieces, but I just don't feel like they come together. And there's enough stuff in there that doesn't work that it wouldn't be a super strong recommendation to anyone for me. If you are just like, hey, I've watched every show that I want to see, recommend me stuff. I want to watch more anime. I'd be like, all right, well, if you have Netflix anyway, maybe check it out. There's some fun stuff in there. It's not like it's a waste of time, but yeah, it's just okay, I think.
Yeah. There's some cool elements. Like I said, I liked Sam. I thought Sam was pretty nice as a character there. I did like the bodyguard of Prince Kelby, who I think was Odin, I think was, the name there, the
Yeah,
body
I think so.
I liked him. I also liked the other warrior that they kinda picked up in the during the one with vitiligo. Do you remember Helda?
Mm-hmm.
I liked her. I thought she was good. I like
I
the
think the car is cool.
car is good. You like the car. I also like that dude, the red faced dude.
I totally forgot his name, but yeah, he was fun.
I thought he was good. I thought I liked him. So it's good pieces there. I forgot his name. But let me see if I can freeze frame on the guy. Yeah, there you go. This is the character. Red faced guy has a samurai sword. I thought he was cool. I thought he was a cool character. And he worked really well with them. So yeah,
I
I
wish
mean
that he
this
was in it more, honestly.
oh nine is his name. Okay.
Nine, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, an alcoholic Ronin who assists Sam on her journey there. So yeah, I thought he was really a good character. So the creator I think can take pieces of this and then build upon it, and then for another series that probably he wants to do. So I don't know if it's like maybe it takes time for a writing process, creative process, does another comic book, tries to put that together, and then does another kind of anime there. I don't know what he's working on currently, but he also did the Yasuke series, which is more recent,
Yeah.
which came
Okay.
out I think in 2022, I believe. What were
Yeah, I
your
think you're right.
thoughts on the Yasuke series?
I actually haven't seen it. I was interested, but the one thing that did kind of make maybe pull it down on my list of stuff that I wanted to see was I was hoping for something that was a little more historical. And from my understanding, it the concept seems like, oh, there's like this kind of cool thing that did happen in real history. Let's kind of fictionalize it a little bit, maybe similar to something like Vinland Saga, explore that a little. But from my understanding, the series it goes full blown fantasy, mechs, monsters, kind of all over the place. And with the idea of there's this one black samurai in genuine history, I was hoping to see something that was a little bit more of a genuine historical explanation. So I haven't seen it, to be fair. So I'm not judging it too hard based on that, but I do think that would have been a little bit more of an interesting direction for it.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if we did a review for it. I can't remember. But I did see it, and like you, watching it, I was like, "Huh." I kind of just wanted more of a good historical retelling of it, and then watching it, it's like all of a sudden they do some shit where he's fighting ghosts and demons and shit, and he's got a girl with
Yeah.
him, and I was like, "What the hell is all this?" Like, wait a minute, like like what the fuck is all this? And I don't know. Maybe that was too much to expect, I guess, for an anime to be. Like you said, it's this girl that he has to like protect, and she's got some. I think she's like possessed with a spirit or something like that. I forgot a
I
little
mean,
bit.
Vinland Saga sticks to being pretty grounded and realistic, so it's not like it's not been done.
Yeah. So yeah, like Vinland Saga, I think to be more something like Vinland Saga, I think would have been good for this. Instead of trying to make it like that, it's like, hey, we gotta do the anime tropes because nobody's really gonna care if we don't throw in demons and monsters and spirits and all this other. We don't if we don't really do that, nobody's gonna really care that much. But yeah, I mean, I much would have probably rather preferred that instead of what I got there, and I thought it was fine. I think it's better than this is better than Yasuke is better than Cannon Busters. I think that there.
Maybe
Um,
the third show he does will kind of pull everything together.
Yeah, maybe the third time's the charm. I really love it when he does that. And then I think playing Yasuke was Lakeith Stanfield, who's doing the voice for
Okay.
Yasuke there. So yeah, maybe that goes there. So yeah. So what rating would you give Cannon Busters there?
I'd give it a stream it. I'd give it like just like a regular, maybe even on the lower end stream it. Like I think there's some fun stuff in here. I really do. I don't think it's a waste of time. I don't think it's all bad. But it's really something that I can't strongly super recommend unless you're just looking for stuff to watch and everything else I could name you've already seen.
Mm. Yeah, that's about where I am. I'm gonna give it a stream it as well. Like I said, I mean, if you're looking for new anime to check out, it's like I haven't really watched this before. I've watched all the anime I can. I'm looking for something new. I mean, it's just decent. I mean, it's probably won't be up there with kind of more the higher tier things that you've seen there, but I appreciate somebody going out there with their original concept, building it, coming out there with the idea. And like I said, see if he can build upon this with this, and then Yasuke, and then with another series. I think he can. I think he's getting better and better. The creator LaShawn Thompson, so maybe he could do that. So yeah, I mean, I think there's some cool concepts that you can take further on in other projects there that you can kind of build upon. But yeah, just to stream it for me, with this series with Cannon Busters there. And short watch, only 12 episodes. If you
Yeah,
want
it gets in and out real quick. It doesn't waste your time.
yeah, so 12 episodes there. So, two streamings for Cannon Busters there. Yeah, all right. And thank you, Terry Thompson. Thank you for the lurk, man. Much appreciated. And chill is chilling, as always.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead raid somebody. I see mini portables on right now. I see some good people. If you had any suggestions, Sage, or
I
anybody in
have
the
my
chat.
list pulled up here, but I don't really see anybody on my end.
Okay, that's okay. I'll go ahead and raid a cat named Whitney. She's streaming right now, doing some good old board games. So I'll go ahead and raid her. Sage, let people know where they can find what you got going on, your links, everything like that, man.
Yeah, you can find me over at Rated M for Immaturity on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. I will not call it X. The next thing, actually, big thing I got coming up just tonight in about 4 hours time, I'll be doing a launch stream for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I'll be doing that for roughly 6 to 8 hours, I think.
Doing that with
Um,
anybody or just
it's just gonna be me.
okay? Just you. All right. Very nice. Well, I'll be there. Make sure to stop by. We are doing a stream. We're doing a stream this Friday. Like I said, doing Dune 2, doing a review for that. That's pretty much the only thing we're going to be doing a review for this Friday. And any news that pops up, we're going to be also discussing that. We're also going to be doing a stream Saturday. I'm going to be joining. Chill is actually going to be joining me. Chill and Jamarco.
Awesome.
We're going to be doing a review for the Vince Staples show on Netflix, and we're going to be doing Tyler Perry movie Mia Coppola. So we're gonna be doing that. There. Also, I have a stream coming up this Sunday. Nick is gonna be joining me. He's gonna be giving his thoughts on Dune 2, and then we're also gonna be ranking our favorite Avatar: Last Airbender episodes, giving our 10 favorite Avatar: Last Airbender episodes. Have you seen the live action series yet? Or
I have not watched it at all.
okay. Well, at least it's better than M Night Shyamalan movie. At least
Yeah.
it's better than that. I know there was that meme going around. Somebody was like M Night Shyamalan was like saying like, "Hey, it's not so easy to make Avatar: Last Airbender now. It's a live action adaptation." Well, I'm like, well, it's still better than yours. It's it's
Yes.
it's definitely still better than M Night Shyamalan. So at least you could say that. So there is that. So we're gonna be giving our 10 favorite episodes of that. And then Sage, we're gonna be back again Monday. We're gonna be doing a review for Paprika. Doing a review for that. It's the 40th anniversary or 30th anniversary of the film.
Oh, Paprika came out in 2007, I believe.
Oh, 2006.
So that was
Okay.
not super old.
Yeah, so not super.
Nausicaa Valley of the Wind is having its 40th anniversary on March 11th, I believe, though.
Okay, so we do Paprika, then we could do Nausicaa Valley of the Wind after that, and then we could do Black Lagoon after that, and then whatever wins the poll this, we could do that after Black Lagoon.
And I just finished today Fallout New Vegas at 75 hours of on my save file. So
Very good. We got a review for that coming up. Before we're gonna do a review for that before the TV series comes out. The Fallout TV show is coming out April 12th. So coming out April 12th. So it's coming up there. So you don't have much faith in it, but we'll see. We'll, we'll see what they do
not at
there
all.
with good old Fallout there. Speaking about video game adaptation, we did talk about Borderlands, talking about Fallout, so that's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, and you can find us on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all the afternoon tune. Just type it in and you'll be able to find us. If you want to send us an email, you can do so at theafternoon@gmail.com. Also, wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you see us on any of those platforms, you should leave a good 5-star review that helps boost up the podcast and does a lot for us. Twitch.tv/afternoon tune, trying to get to 400 followers by the end of February. That'd be awesome if we could do that. Also, YouTube posting up clips and discussions from the streams there if you can't make them. YouTube.com, the afternoon tune, trying to get to 2K subs by the end of this year. That'd be awesome if we could do that as well. I'm going to be sending you over to a cat named Whitney. She's playing some board games right now. Very good supporter of the stream. If you guys could show her some love, that'd be awesome if you can. Thank you to Sage. Thank you to Chill for showing up. Thank you to Terry Thompson for showing up. Very much appreciated. To you guys, shout out. Yeah, I'll make sure to visit your stream when you're up there streaming, man, playing that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
All
This is my
right.
next 100-hour long game.
All right, baby. Stay tuned. All right. Out of here.
All right, awesome.
All right, man. Take Take care.
Take care. I'll see you soon.